Welcome to RogueTech, a mod overhaul on the BattleTech engine. Welcome to a new series of RogueTech. I've been playing BattleTech for a while. We went through the heavy metal DLC twice, and I think it's time for us to switch over to RogueTech. We haven't played this in about 6 months, and so I'm sure there's been quite a bit of work done on it. Plus, BattleTech is fun, except for that last flashpoint. That can be kind of challenging. The first time it kicked my ass. The second time I kicked its ass. So it was kind of extreme, either one way or the other. RogueTech is just kicks your ass. So you really have to be careful a little bit more on your games. We're going to give this a try. We're going to play through a series in this as well with all the DLC. And I'm going to take you in this series through the install and initial setup. We'll see how far I get through to creating a character. We will not be doing any gameplay, but this is all about getting RogueTech installed and going on. Now, since I last played this, the install has been vastly simplified, but it still requires your attention. Just like the game, if you mess around and just kind of play it, you'll get screwed. So be careful about your install, and I'm going to take you through it. First and foremost, what you want to do is to go into your Steam settings, and I'm going to bring up my Steam settings here. Steam, a library, and find your BattleTech game. In here, if you're ready to play RogueTech, the first thing, especially if you have any mods installed, I would suggest that you go down into Properties, go to Local Files, click Verify the Integrity of your files, and let it go through its Verify Integrity. Here, we'll bring these things over so you can see them. There we are. So I went in, I did Verify Integrity of Files, I clicked on it and said okay, and now it's going to go through and it's going to look at my files to see if they're good, and it's going to come back and it's going to tell me about some things it needs to do, some uploads. Let's just take a look and see if it's in my list. It is not yet in my queue. Close those two things out. That's nice to see those. We'll go back. So once this install the Verify has completed, it is going to make sure that all of your files meet the BattleTech current version configuration. If you're curious whether or not you've done any kind of betas, go into your beta list. Make sure you're on opt out of all betas. This is a 1.9 mod, so you'll need to make sure that's done. Let's wait till this is done. We'll come right back. Okay, well, Steam now has finally finished the validation, and it's found that 2 files did not validate, and it had to reacquire them. And if you look down here in your downloads, you'll see them. Just close this. We'll close that. Down the downloads, I should say, yep, BattleTech has been done and updated. All right. So now I'm sure that my BattleTech is current and ready to go. Next thing I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and get the RogueTech download. What you're going to do is hit Google, go into RogueTech Nexus, and that will take you here. Click on RogueTech Nexus, and it will take you into the Nexus modding facility or modding community, Nexus mods, and here's RogueTech. In here, you will see there's a description, and it will tell you very clearly how to do things. I would suggest you take the moment to read through this, even if you're following my walkthrough here. Go ahead and read this. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing. And notice big old massive capital letters. Do not install in the Harebrained Schemes mod folder. This is actually where you were putting it the last time. When I played this 6 months ago, you would actually copy this stuff all into the mods folder and then unpack stuff. No, we're going to put it in a different one, and I will show you that. But make sure you do have enough room. You'll need 10 megabytes free. So bring open your File Explorer. Go down into your disk that you're going to use. I'm not going to use volume E. I'm going to use volume F here. So click that, click Properties, and just make sure that you have a capacity that has enough open space. You need 10 gigabytes. I think I meet that requirement. Okay, so we'll minimize that. So now that I know that, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Files. And in here, you'll see that there's a file here that says RogueTech Launcher. It's the only thing you need. It does require, as it mentions here, BattleTech 1.9.1, but if we did the refresh the way I told you to, and I went through it, you will be current. And then note the uploaded date and time. So this is June 19th. The reason for that is this does get downloaded quickly and often. So you'll need to make sure you take a look. Now, pick whichever one you want. If you're a premium member of Nexus, you can use the fast download, or you can click on the slow down load. It'll take you a few seconds. It'll come around. It'll say, hey, here you go. Let's go ahead and do the download. Lydia Lico is the one who's done a lot of this work, so you can go ahead and give them a donation here if you want to. And you'll see down here, I'm getting an upload done. Now, if you click on the 3 dots, you can tell it where you're going to put it. And when it comes back up, I will do that. Once it's done, you can go ahead and click on this. It'll come up. In my case, it says it's blocked. I'm going to keep it. It says it might I'm going to show more. I'm going to go ahead and keep it anyway. There it is. Show in folder. And now this one's sitting off in my downloads folder. I'm going to move it into a folder that I have already created. It's going to be in the games, and I'm going to create it in the RogueTech thing there. Can I go back to where I was? Yep, I can. So I will copy that down into RogueTech. And actually, in this particular case, I'm going to move it there. Yep, replace the one in the file destination because I've already done this. So then we're in here, and we got the launcher going. Okay, so I've gone through all of that, and now I have a RogueTech launcher. Now I've double-click on the launcher. It'll open it up. It says, are you sure about that? Click on more, run anyway. If you're curious, you can always right-click. If with your own files, like for example, if I right-click this, it'll say scan with whatever your security software is. Mine is WebRoot, so I've already got that. Here we go. New version is available now. It's Omni's Osmium Beta 177HF3. Please receive. Yep. We'll go ahead and do that. So there's the version I'm on. And then you can come in here and you can look at some various things. Your install target, your work point outplace. Now it's going to find your install target it's going to find where your BattleTech is installed. And here's where the mods thing is. It's going to put the copies into the Harebrained Schemes mod folder itself. And then it will also manage them itself. So let it do that work. Don't go in there and try to fix it for them. But you can do some preferences in here. For example, if you have a different executive, if you think, no, you didn't get the right place, you can do that. You can also change how it's going to launch. I don't need to change anything in there. In the advanced mode, if you go advanced mode, you can actually change these destinations. I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on update and install right there. So it's going to go through and it's going to update all of the files into the Harebrained Schemes mod folders. It's going to download what it needs, including the asset bundle. In the past, you had to download and install the asset bundle yourself, but it's going to take care of that for you. So we're going to let this thing run and install RogueTech for us. So roughly 9 minutes after we started the install, it is completed. It's updated to its latest version. At this point, I can go ahead and do a launch. Now, whenever you do run RogueTech, you'll want to run it from here. One of the things you can also do is you can go into the RogueTech files where you were before, where the launcher got downloaded, and you can copy that to your desktop. Okay, just do a drag, do that, or you can even create a shortcut and move that over. Okay, I'm going to take that shortcut, delete it, and I do have it on my desktop, so let me go ahead and close off my windows. Don't save. There we go. I'm going to minimize this and put it down here, and I can just drag this over and drop it onto my desktop. Okay, and there it is. It'll be right there. Now, whenever I want to run it, I can just double click that. It'll open up the launcher. And actually, it'll open up a second copy of it, but there we go. In fact, let me just close it both off. It'll be clean. Close that one too, so they're all closed. Okay, double click it. Opens it up, and now all I have to do is just launch RogueTech. And it will fire it up for me. First time that you do open this thing up, you will see this ModTech piece come in. It'll go through and initialize all the mods. Usually the first time this ran, when I did this 6 months ago, this took a while to get through. And then subsequent starts of it were much quicker. So just so you are aware, this could take a little bit of time. And here we go. you've all seen the intro. Let's skip that. Hit the thing. And now if you... No, don't. Quit the game? No. If you've installed successfully, you will see this part right here. It says RogueTech over BattleTech. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start a career. New. And we'll have a number of difficulty settings. A couple of things in here. One, unlike BattleTech, where you can just try to max out your difficulty, I do not suggest, especially if it's the first time playing, don't do that. In fact, I would even do a few things to make your life easier. For example, drop this down to 4 instead of 5. If you really want to do some stuff, friendly fire, you can actually shoot yourself in this game. So I leave that on. Starting planet is a mercenary for no difficulty. You could change just any of these, by the way, and it will not change the difficulty. Wherever you want to start, though, does have some impact on what you'll end up with as starting mechs. So I'll start off as a mercenary. Chance to recover mech. So this is your chance to get your mech back if it gets shut out from underneath you. And you can see that. Defines the chance of getting your own mech back for free. You can still get pieces back afterwards, if I believe. But yeah, I'm okay making this a little bit more difficult, just to avoid the whole it's too easy. But I mean, 0.2% difficulty, really? Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, nah, not gonna do it. Contract difficulty variance is how much difference if you go to a 3 skull planet. How far up and down will it go? It's half skull for each number, so this means on a 3 skull, I could get anything from a 2 to a 4. Okay. Contract payments is how much you're going to get paid out when you successfully do it in C-bills. Salvage is how much of the salvage are you going to be able to get. You can just leave those there. I tend to leave the advancement there. I'm going to actually change my advancement. Let's see, no points, advanced. Here we go. Commander experience, that's me. How much do I get to start off? How often are advanced MechWarriors available to me? Let me go back over here so I can highlight it. I like the fact that they're giving you a lot of hints as you go, but in later parts of the game, new MechWarriors and the Mech will often have better stats and skills than the earlier game. Yep, that's nice. Nope, I'm not going to go. I'm going to shut that down to normal. I don't really need that. Ronin higher chance. Ronin are more skilled BattleTech warriors. Again, I'm tend to do a lot of my own development, so I'm not really going to worry about that. Number of pilots per system that you can find, I'm going to cut this down to 3, so there's not a whole lot of MechWarriors running around. You can also change the difficulty for upgrading your particular MechWarrior. So in this particular case, I have a normal progression with a slow exponent. In other words, how fast will I level up? I'm thinking I might leave it slow. No, let's do normal. And the reason for that is with a YouTube playthrough, you don't want to take a really long time to get through content because generally speaking, it's painful to watch. Lethality. Now, in BattleTech, I have no problem whatsoever putting this at lethal. And that's because I'm pretty confident that I am. I mean, unless I get a random head hit with like an AZ-20, I'm going to be all right. And I generally don't lose mechs. In RogueTech, you have a much higher chance of taking a lethal hit and having your mechs knocked out from under you because this game, let me put it this way. The difficulty differences between BattleTech and RogueTech is like playing checkers or Go. If you've looked at both of them, they both have 2 color pieces you put on the board, but there is nowhere near the same kind of difficulty between the two. And for those who are not familiar with the game of Go, think of it between checkers and chess. Though that difference is not significant enough. Starting money is fine. Mech base speed. This is going to be how fast things get fixed in the game. I'll leave it at hard. Mech bay armor speed. So in this particular game, on BattleTech, if you've got 40 points of frontal armor and 20 points get blown off in your campaign, in your engagement, and you come back up to repair, you go back down, your 20 points are replaced for free with no time invested whatsoever. Not so in RogueTech. You take time to put your armor back on, and it takes money to put armor back on. So this is going to cost money and time to do that. I am going to make a change to the shop selling. I mean, most of the stuff I do is between around recovery and selling that recovery off. So I'm going to kick both of these up to 15, and at the end, I'm at 50%. So I think we're fine. It's a half difficulties, no big deal. So we're going to start the game. All right, now we're going to go through the startup. Much of the startup is going to feel familiar to you from the BattleTech universe, except there's going to be a much greater range of things we can do. So, decades ago, your family came from, and what you pick is pretty much the area you're going to be in. You do have a few other areas that you can pick from, I think, but we're going to go ahead and stay with Draconis Combine. We went bankrupt. So this is going to tell me here your family came from the you can reach from the Draconis Combine. Now here, depending on what I pick, will change what bonuses I have down in my here. So I get gunnery and guts there, gunnery and tactics. So think about how you want your character to come out in the end. Are you going to be up front fighting stuff, or are you going to be in the back tossing missiles? What function do you want to fulfill? And then pick your background based on where you want to go. Or you can just go total storyline if you want. Let's see, families betrayed as gunnery and guts. So we'll do that. And then out on your own, you fell into a life of the Solaris Gladiator or a Frontier. So here's you're going to get one more bonus point somewhere. I tend to like tactics. Inner Sphere. This will also play into your into the things that can occur to you while you're out there. Ooh, Frontier Pirate. Do I want to do a pirate run? There's something to be said for that. I've never done that before. You know what? I'm going to do that. All right, then we can go over here and edit our name and our thing. So our call sign, of course, is Arctic Wolf. We will pick... shall we just do Dextor? There we go. Pronunciation will be he. Voice.
I'm listening. Stop waiting on you,
So
Commander.
that's all. F is for female. M is going to be male.
Stand. I'm stand. Receive order.
I hear you. Yep. Waiting on you. Standing by. Receiving you.
Stark Chad. What?
Ready for orders.
I don't
Standing
know.
by. They will be done. Yes, Commander. Yes, boss. Good to go. Waiting for orders.
Waiting for orders.
How can I help?
AI is not. It's a,
Слушаю.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
oh, these are the new ones.
Yep.
All right.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
We'll take text. Why not? Actually, wait.
Что там еще?
Finging.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
We'll take that one. And then this was one I've had in the past. Well, let's scroll down here and see what we got, shall we? Should we? I mean, we are an Arctic Wolf, right? Why not? Let's take Dog. Dog will be our co-pilot. Okay, Dog is our co-pilot. Let's get going. RogueTech, war is business, business is hell. Welcome to the Intersphere, Commander. You are a mercenary standing on the bridge of your very own Argo, a mobile space station looking forward to a life of conflict among the warring factions of humanity. You will prosper, or be remembered only as yet another thug who couldn't cut it. All right, so here we are. We're in the game. We're not going to drop down, but we're going to get some setup going here, first of all. So if we go into the barracks, you'll notice there's more things here you can pick from. You'll see in here we got this. We also have service records down here. So we take a look at our attributes. And there may be a bonus. So, if we hover over these, they will tell you a little bit about what this thing means. And in some cases, you will get a bonus for something. See if I don't think Finn will have any. MechWarrior, military, small bonuses starting XP, for example. Bookish, decreased XP cost for leveling tactics, increased XP for leveling guts. Oh, that's interesting. Mood changes based on funding, because he's noble. So this is one of the first areas where if you start looking at this, you'll think, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to start working this guy as a tactics person. One of the things, though, you will notice is that the customized part here is grayed out. I can't click it like I could up here. And that's because if you look over here, this was a KS, this is a Kickstarter backer. So as a Kickstarter, you get to put in your own character and you can come up in the pool and you have your own backstory, as you saw down here. This is something that somebody wrote for their backstory. So you get to stick with that if you want to. This is a Ronin, right? Rank of veteran.
Commander.
So he's got a vet, and he's already picked out his skill set. He's going to be a juggernaut tactics guy. So now the question here is going to be, do I make him a berserker or do I make him a sensor scanner? Long shot is going to head down that way too. And then we've got these guys in the rest is this is a Ronin. Unique character. You may only hire this mech character once. If you fire them or if they're killed, they will not appear in any hiring hall ever again. And you can see here when I click on him, small starting experience, moderate bonus. These are all the things if I look under his surface record. See, they're in here. So if I click on here and just show you, he'll have, for example, the increased mech tech skill. So my mech tech points over here of 8 includes the bonus point from him. Okay. Punisher's got panic resistance. That's not too bad. Schmirk. Increased chance to hit when using lost tech weapons. Well, that's kind of handy. What gave him that skill? Mech tech. Lost tech experience gave it to him. Okay, cool. So when you're looking for, in the store, if you're looking for people in the hiring hall, you may want to take a look and see if they've got any special stats and what they are. My particular thing, my suggestion would be if you find somebody like this one, decreased cost from Argo upgrades, +1 to mech tech skill, another +1 to a mech tech skill. Oh my God, this guy's actually pretty good. What in the world? I think I'm hiring this guy. Except
new MechWarriors
because my mech tech just went up to 10 with him. I didn't expect to find somebody in there. Anyway, so then you go into barracks, you can go ahead and set up your roles. As far as the roles go, keep in mind that in RogueTech, you can drop more than 4 mechs. You might drop as many as 8, I believe. And so you can have more roles for your people. You can have a couple of bruisers up front, a couple of missile guys in the back, a scout or two. So think about what you're going to do, and I'll come back and look at that. Typically in the beginning, I like to level people out in the middle of the skill sets here, like something like that. And then I'll confirm that.
Confirmed, Commander.
And then I'll decide what I'm going to do a little bit later. You don't have any skills. You have some points. Let's give you a point in attacking. Piloting is good. Yeah. Can I just do them all? I can't. All right, let's do that. Get everybody leveled out.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you up here a little bit.
Training complete.
Because if you don't hit something, you're no good to me. There's probably a good argument to be made that bringing everybody up to 4 is a waste of points. But again, for me, there's just a certain amount of basic skill I want to make sure I have, and then I'll go from there. And then Schmirk. Oh my God, you were horrible at shooting. There we go. And then we'll decide what else we're going to do with these guys in the next episode. Mech Bay. Let's take a look at what I've got.
This Mech Bay, Commander.
So one of the things you're going to note, and I'll bring it up this first one, is that the skeleton is much more complex. Here's some information overload, and this isn't going to be the last time you're going to get information overload. In here is a whole lot of information. First of all, you do have different kinds of armor and skeletal structure that you can put in place. Endo steel just gives you lighter weight. So if you look up at my tonnage, if I take it out, there's 2 tons, or it's 42. If I put it back in, it's 40. So this drops my tonnage by 2 tons, gives me a little bit more stuff to put in, but it takes up slots doing it. So it's a trade-off. Down here, you can also see there's an engine core in here. And as I pull that out, I have like no heat efficiency or movement. When I put it back in, I have movement. So the engine core, and you can change the size of your engine core, will affect your speed and how many heat sinks you have in here. So for example, if I put my thing back in here, if you look up there, it says tonnage is 13.5, slots 1. A couple of lines down, you'll see weight and tonnage, 11.5 in the engine, 3 gyro, and a -1 heatsink. The -1 heatsink is an external heatsink that is required for the mech, and it's a free install. You can put it in, it's 0 weight. So if I look over here at this heatsink and I pull this one out, there's a ton, but if I pull this one out, nothing changed. Okay, so because I get 1 free. The next thing to notice is that you do have various armatures and ligatures in here that will have an impact on your performance, and they can get hit and knocked out. So, for example, if you got your foot blown off, your leg blown off, your upper leg blown off, your hip blown off, you have stand-up percentage chances that are getting it reduced. So you can try to get up and fail. Standing up is not automatic in this game. You actually have to make a pilot check, and it is affected by all this stuff. In addition, if you look up here, some stand up on the shoulder. Here's some melee defense and missile percentages. You can see just off to the side here. When I highlighted, it's not really telling me that. It would be nice if it did. And then also, when we look over here, there's a heatsink kit. So the heatsink kit is what kind of heatsinks can you put on the mech? Just because in BattleTech, if I found double heatsinks, I could drop them in. You can't do that in this game. To drop double heatsinks in, you have to have a double heatsink kit to allow you to do it. Or you have a single heatsink kit. It is default single heatsink. You have a default gyro. You can put in new ones. There's engines you can put in here. This is typically a fusion engine. If you find a fusion engine, you drop it in. There's no change. Jump jets, again, do the same sort of thing, but they give you some a little bit more variety as far as your capacity. They generate heat. So keep an eye on some of this stuff. Again, we got different kinds of weaponry, and here's all the different kinds of weaponry you can install. We're not going to get into that right now. There's too much. You also have some quirks and special slots. So this particular guy has a narrow, low profile. What does that mean? It means that he has +1 defense as his quirk. Okay, so if I'm running around, I'll get +1 defense just by default. I also have 2 specialist slots that could be equipment that I come up with. The equipment will come in here showing specialist stuff here, and you can install that up here for added benefits. In your head, you'll also have various components. There's life support, there's fire control, cockpit, sensors, and its backup life support. Many of these are a single slot, but some of these require double slots. There's that extra slot. So if you have 2 things in here that you want to put in 2 slots with, you can't do it. You'll have to find a compromise in the way you build it out. And that's one of the things that ends up coming out in RogueTech, is that each of your mechs begins to have this personality. In addition to that, when you take a look, by the way, see I've got 50 armor. Watch what happens down here when I do this. Bing. 240 a day. So armor is not free. So if I come in here and I start to change each and every one of these guys because I don't like the way it looks, I pull some stuff out, I add some defense, all of a sudden I'm spending a lot of cash. You will burn through this 2.4 million in no time. Let's get out of here and take a look at the next thing. So I've got a Raven. Oh, that's kind of nice. And the Raven's going to have the ECM, right? Yeah, it's got Jammer S2 Quirk. It doesn't take up a slot. Nope. This is the first time I've had a Raven, so I didn't know that. So it won't take a slot, but I still have the Jammer capabilities up here. So that's all cool. All your weapons, your missiles, and everything else will have a variety of things. Like here's this different type of ammo. It's FTL, or follow the leader, which just means that when you shoot, if the first one doesn't hit, none of them hit. So it gives you more of a chance to just do all your damage or none of your damage. It also has an arc launcher. The arc launcher in the BattleTech game is just for missiles. This one is not. This one is an ECM or ECCM, electronic countermeasures, that will grant you ability to see. In this game, when you get out there, your sensors are important. You may see that there's a mech blip over there, but you won't know what the mech looks like. You won't know what it is because it's too far away, and your sensors can't make it out through the enemy's jamming. So as you get closer and your sensor abilities, your numbers start to go up, you can start to counter some of that ECM that's being put out, and then you might get a chance to see that mech's a Raven. And what you'll see is that mech has a Raven with energy weapon, energy weapon, energy weapon, missile weapon, missile weapon, for example. So you won't know specifically what it's carrying unless you've got a really good sensor lock on it, and you can start to delineate that sort of stuff. You may not even be able to see that it has that on there. So it makes it kind of difficult to figure out. You can't just hover over it and say, oh, yeah, look, the ammo's in the leg. No, the ammo could be anywhere, and you won't be able to tell with your sensors until you get some kind of really high-level sensor capabilities, or you just happen to know the build. So there's another thing for you. As far as these things go, last thing to blow your mind, actually, before we go there,
Commander.
let's go to engineering.
Not be fully functional yet.
Well, I will do this. The MERC system, it's an online mech, an online map. So when I do missions on the map, this is also telling me there's some stuff. Here's the map. And if I scroll all the way out, there's actually a whole little thing that goes all the way up to the top here. I think there's 2 paths up here. There's one through here. There's one over here. This is clan space, and you can find clan weapons and stuff up there. You won't find them as much down here. Okay, but there is obviously a whole lot more to this environment than was in BattleTech. So it's a lot of fun to go through here and take a look at these things. The attributes also have an impact, just like they do now in heavy metal, where if you go to a world that has a black market, obviously you can do black market. But if it's a place that has research, for example, you might have different things available to you. And they do have the filter again, which is great. I like the filter. We have, I forgot to check that. I think everything is going to go up according to my skill set. I used to like to keep it as a planetary thing. I'll have to go back and see if I can change that as far as difficulty goes. Let's go into engineering. Last tour. Here is all of the stuff that we can get. You can see there's a whole lot more in here. There's a little bit more in the recreation environment. You can see here's where the drop size comes into effect, how much you can drop. Even getting the first one is going to be 2.5 million to get another mech down on the ground. Mech control allows you to command an additional mech warrior directly. Lightweight company's worth of mechs. Nice. So I'm trying to figure. I haven't seen this one before. I'm wondering if that is. Let's just command an additional mech warrior directly. So do I have to have one of each before I can actually drop a guy? Maybe. Drop tonnage increases drop limit by 50. Oh, so now I have a whole bunch of command and control. That's actually cool. This is new for me, and I see where they're going with it. How many mechs can I drop? How many pilots can I have in those mechs? So if I have 5 mechs, I need 5 pilots. And then how much weight can I drop through the Leopard that I'm upgrading and installing? In addition to that, you can also see that there is a structure, and in the structure, there's going to be here, yes, storage space. So all of the stuff that's in storage costs me money. So whenever I go through my financials, I'm going to be charged for everything that I'm currently keeping on the racks, but I'm also going to be charged for whatever I'm keeping in cargo. So keep that in mind. This is not a case where I want to save an infinite amount of medium lasers. If I have enough medium lasers in storage, sell all the extras because I don't want to pay to keep the rest of that in boxes and stored in wherever, the cargo hold. Okay, and then we've got all of my my salaries over there. Okay, so with that, I think we have come to the point. There's the memorial, of course, where here's all the place where you get to put up all the mech warriors that have died. This feels very XCOM-ish. I like it. Hopefully there'll be nobody here. One can only hope. Let's take a look at the store. You can see we can buy some gear, but I just wanted to give you a quick peek. Chainsaw is a new melee weapon thing. In RogueTech, one of the things you will notice is your ability to shoot something sucks. It sucks so hard. Your MechWarrior is going to be starting off with chances to hit in the 20 percentile. Unlike in RogueTech, I mean, we got to the point where I could do cold shots or whatever and get maximum hits. Perfect. In RogueTech, no. And in fact, when you do a cold shot, your chance to hit drops, which makes sense to me. I never knew why in BattleTech, where you do a cold shot on something, you get a bonus to hit. I feel like it's a reduction in your chance to hit, but an increase in your placement of hit. So I'm going to call shot center torso. I'm going to go from 75% chance to hit to 50% chance to hit. But if I hit, my chance to actually hit the center torso on that shot goes way up because I'm doing the call shot. So there you go. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and finish off the first build out and purchase. I might actually purchase that for the first episode, and we'll do a quick tour, and then we'll go into one of our first missions on the command center. I'm going to want to take half skull missions, and it's a solo duel too. It's a one-on-one. So this one could be kind of interesting. We'll give it a try. I also like the fact that in RogueTech, a number of the missions are increased. Also, you'll see that the number of kinds of mechs that we're going to run against are also vastly increased. So let's come back and see how this goes. But thank you for joining me in this 0 episode and getting the RogueTech installed and initially started up. Take care. Bye-bye.
Creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go with the windows, I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a